Map number 2, getting ready to go. A chance for all these players to earn some more points. Some more phenomenal PUBG action. Here we go.
Well, let's get this show on the road again. That line is gonna be south in a way, and a lot of these teams are gonna be, well, let's just say, looking to definitely take control of some military base. They're gonna be trying to get a little bit north towards that riverbed to get some landing spots, but a lot of teams dropping out early. They're feeling east right now. We've had a west point. Naturally, if you go from predictions and statistics, theoretically it should go east, but at the same time PUBG loves to surprise us in all the miracle ways that it has.
I'm excited for all the surprises that this game does have for us, and I'm excited to see a full 16-team lobby here. Of course, Driftwood unable to make that first map. They're going to be here to try and bounce back for the second. So we'll see eventually where they land, if they can immediately get to the swing of things. Sometimes it can be hard if you just don't feel out the game. You get those first couple of shots in. Could be like everybody else's first match, but only top 2 teams are going to walk away with cash here tonight. And talking about cash, we've still got our clip contest going on. It's going to be $20 for the person that created the clip and $20 for the team that was clipped.
Yeah, make sure you get those in free money bank account. Oh yes, free money, but that's zone. Oh, holy mackerel, that is hard and brutal. And I think we're gonna first game that towards military. It's gonna be about a 60% chance we are landing military.
All right, who in chat called up PUBG and said they wanted a 50% water zone? Well, you got your wish. The call is in, and yeah, that's a good prediction. Military base definitely could be the result. I'd love to see it pull somewhere around that right side bridge. Those zones are always super fun, or anywhere towards the power plant. Love all those 3 types of zones. However, it means that the solo team that landed down there, that looks like actually Storm on request, is going to be the solo team there. But once teams are starting to see this zone, Hyper, they are zooming down there to get a place.
Oh, you gotta zoom. You gotta quickly get that rotation to come in, because that zone is brutal. It's a brutal zone, and of course, naturally, a lot of these players are gonna get there. We're seeing right now, it looks like on the map, there's only 3 teams in this zone that are sitting comfortably and happy with this positioning.
And that could mean a lot of those northern teams that didn't have a super tough rotation going into map number 1 might have to fight their way through those rotations to get a spot even on the edge. Here is that Storm on request squad. We were talking about picking up some cars to get those rotates around, and like we said, splitting up those players to grab the vehicles this early on is such a good testament towards the knowledge these players do have. Got to make sure they've got enough gas for the rest of the game, but still with 16 teams, 63 players, it's been a calm before the storm, or you could say storm on request.
I'm just gonna cringe over that horrible pun that was in play, but nonetheless, right now, none of these teams are really fighting. No one's really thinking too much. We've still got a lot of time. Like that zone, minute 30, you can still grab yourself a vehicle. You can get those rotations going round. But Storm on request, they're going for this high position. They're sacrificing a lot of looting and instead making sure position is their priority, which, being in the observatory, I don't blame you. Get that high position, get that control, and then you have those sight lines over the bridge that is in zone, but also you have a slight indication and sight line to the opposite bridge as well, the west bridge, which a few teams are starting to make their way across. I believe that's Typhoon, who is camping and guarding this bridge. So, of no surprise, we're going to see them rotate last into the zone, as they're going to try and capture as many teams as possible.
See if they can be the troll, make you pay the toll here on the bridge, and it looks like they've actually pushed out towards it, got there safely, And now they're going to set up. Of course, lots of teams could be rotating through here. One of the two main entry points, unless you want to go for a swim in the mucky water here to try and get yourself over. One of the most dangerous ways to cross yourself in. And obviously they've got a ton of gas. They've got some great weapons. And the bigger thing is heals as well. If you're a team that's making one of these early rotations, having the heals just to reset after those team fights that Typhoon, we know they're going to take team fights. They didn't get a single placement point last game, but they got 7 kills.
Yeah, they got 7 out of it, and in doing so, gonna massively bump themselves up. Typhoon currently placed 6 right now. That is huge. No placement points of the top 8 that got there from the last game. They're in 6th. Like that's a great position to be in. It shows how important it is kills are. So you've got to be going forward. Typhoon know they're not going to be doing the bridge camping. They're deciding, you know what, we need to loot up a little bit more, but you could... Oh, free information here. Thank you very much. And nothing to do the final kill, but nonetheless, at least I know where 1 is.
Yeah, there's some triangulation intel here, and a lot of teams making their rotation as phase 1 still about 3.5 minutes left to go here. The skyline looking over everybody else, and for Storm on request, they can kind of watch over that bridge rotation as you talked about. They've got some easier shots, it feels like, straight on down, and just a great position as long as they don't take too much damage. Seeing some players from that emergency drop from the sky, and everybody having to make their rotation. One team I am concerned about is going to be Kitchen. Just like last game, they started up north, making that rotation down, but how about Clad and PD Duff with the headshot?
That's a good way to start. You get those headshots in and knock them down. They need to get the confirm. Duff, he's got the information. Pop him out. Pop him out. There it is. 1 point for the Clad squads, and they're going to be happy with that. A point on the board, and not the best of games from them. You know, able to push themselves within to the top 8, getting 1 position point, putting themselves down to 10th in this championship right now. Not the worst, but it's also a good feeling to finally put a kill on the board.
It feels good. I mean, after what felt like for Cladivo, they were kind of surrounded in that last map. They had a great position, and then everybody else wanted their great position. So looking over towards that other squad of Playmen, they're going to be down to 3. I will say, Samarak has kind of grown into a crowd favorite here today. So make sure you guys are clipping. If we can get a Samarak clip, that would be super fun to see as Playmen continue to make their rotation.
Take the boat route. Why don't we take the boat route? That's a one way to get across. I wouldn't be the most best way ever long deciding this is the path they want to take. But to know if the observers would politely show up the map temporarily, look at this team up in the north. Holy mackerel, they got a long way to go. But thankfully, phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 damage is still survivable. Once you get to 3 and 4, a little bit more temperamental, not as fun. Win or die are also amongst a group that haven't rotated yet. But all the teams bar 5 are on the military island, and God help us all if somehow that zone, it takes the 30% chance and goes north.
What I said, everybody always predicts military, but if you're just one of those teams that gets lucky enough and it pulls towards the northern side, you hold the bridge cut off. As Kirst is going to be cutting off some of the rotations of the boat team in Everlong. That team up north that you were talking about is Kitchen. Just a crazy rotation, taking a ton of damage right now. They're sitting along win or die out in the zone. So those two teams, pretty much the only two that are not inside the next zone. And a great shot here from Viz is going to actually take down a Typhoon member.
Yeah, Typhoon, they don't need to lose players early like before. They can fight with 2, that's fine. We know they can. But look in the background. We got some more coming in from the water. Again, taking that ferry express that will get them to the island. But observers, please pull up a map. Just show how clustered this island is looking. It is a absolute massacre on this island. Only 1 team still remaining north. Zone's about to encroach in on 3 seconds. Are they lucky? Are they against them? Phase 2 is in. and we are heading to military.
Okay, we'll avoid the water as well. Typhoon Gaming is eliminated by Viz. The team fight win, a rare loss for Typhoon, and that outside rotation. There are a ton of buildings in military base, but lots of teams choosing to battle on the shoreline. For Not Broke, not in a great position. They're on the shoreline of their own. 100 is going to be on the other side of this fight, and they pretty much either have to escape or take one of these cars to try and get some protection.
Storm on Request are in the best position that they could be. Remember, they landed at the top of that observatory, able to look around everywhere. So that's a team that you really got to be keeping an eye on for the later game. They're going for placement. Not necessarily want to give up kills here. They're not going to be ones that are going to get a lot in. They're just wanting to defend. And thank you, observers, for finally showing this massacre of a map. Look at this. Most of them down there. 3 teams not onto the island just yet. We saw Win or Die have to use an emergency rescue to get themselves out, and now put themselves out into the open and in some dangerous zones against Collab.
And don't worry, if you only saw the one kitchen player of IX out on the edge of the map, he's got his 3 teammates trailing him, probably about 400 meters behind him. But it looks like Kitchen will finally make their way into the zone, trying to go back to back. I mean, you talk about consistency with already over 20 points. You have to wonder what the average is going to be for the lobby, what it's going to take to win. And obviously a back-to-back would be a great way to start it. You talked about Storm on Request. Here's their position. Just great up at the observatory. Landed here early, banked on a low southern zone, and they'll absolutely be paid for it.
Yeah, 100% will get some pay, but if you're Win or Die, it's not the worst of positions to land yourself in. You're on the way up that hill. You've got some great cover that you can play along. The problem is that you can't move anywhere. Collab really does have your number in speed dial, and they are going to look. But Storm and Request actually overpeaked here. Collab's going for the fight. They're wanting that top control and getting that done, and the feed is showing 2 knocks. No confirms just yet. But also Cursed getting some gunfights going. And the boat squads, and that is plural because both Cursed and this Everlong, they both went for the boat route. Not going to help them out, but Cursed with 2, they're going to quickly get some hills up, and they re-aggress to this fight.
Cursed is one of those teams that was just in that final zone last time around. They find the slider position from Silers, and it's the double up to finish things off. Everlong is down, dusted. Hyper, we're down to 14 teams.
14 is still early. Still massively early in this stage of the game. But on the positive, all teams are now within the island as Kitchen finally get their way up past the bridge. They've taken a lot of damage, but they made it there, but not broke. That's called water. You're not going to be able to fight too well out there, and that's exactly why Grove Street are just putting some bombs up in front, but nothing is connecting. They're just a tad too far away.
Took a little bit of damage on the boat overall. It's about down to 1/4 here. Flowers will have to be just a little bit careful. Doesn't want that boat to break out in the water, leaving them signaling over towards the squad where they are. Gonna have to jump out, and that's going to be really tough. Maybe they could send some members over the other side, but it's the blow-up that causes Flowers to go down. Tiling is all on their lonesome as well, too. And this is Not Broke, just really struggling to get out of this position.
I'll tell you what is broke. That boat, definitely not looking too good. You can see they're trying to wrap around to pick up their player in the water, but it's just not working at all. At this point in time, honestly, I would leave that man for dust. I would go and just get out of there. You're just sitting ducks playing games. They've been able to get all 4 back and revive them all in one boat. This is unbelievable because they're trying to rotate to the beach and try and get themselves in a better position.
I will say most Fox has to be a little bit careful. It's only down to about 30 bullets left to go, so the ammo reserve's running out for Chicken Fishy of Playman here. This is the crew with fan favorites Samarak and Axica will be able to take one down. Viz are continuing their rampage, taking down group fan favorites of 180 yards, 2 of their members dropping. And for Playman, a good nice position in these buildings in this zone, but they might get closed out if it pulls more towards that eastern side.
Well, it's going to stay towards the central observatory. Again, Storm on request, holding that upper ground, if you remember from early on, dropping perfectly. So, again, it's playing that position, and Zone's helping them in the greatest way possible. But here's a team we haven't spoken about, because they weren't in the last game. It was Driftwood, currently 14th, and just as we look at them, only 1 player left, 2 kills to help them out, so they're not going to be dead last here. But not in a good position either, as we can see, Not Broke still in the water. They're still trying to fish themselves out, and Grove Street are going to push up onto Driftwood.
Trying to finish off this final member. Q1 Law will try and maybe find some Not Broke members out in the water. Their boat must have exploded and won't be able to hit the shots. Now the enemy is going to know your exact position to try and close you out, close your teams. Second game out, 20 HP, and a Dream will try and pop the first aid kit, but the nades and everything else you assume are going to be chucked that way. Grove Street, it's the ace in the pocket to eliminate Driftwood.
That's a great way to get that. Now it's another 13 teams left. And this is where the fun really begins, because that zone is down to 40 seconds. It's gone still at the observatory. We're going a little bit city-wide dockside. So that's going to help a few teams, but the majority are still sitting in main area military base. So a lot of rotations immediately going to come in. We can already see this red team pushing up as well. I believe that's Viz who is rotating, as Clad also going to get a knock and confirm. Clad's been firing on all cylinders today. You know, got themselves 8th on the last game. Now they're finding some kills to add on to it. They're feeling confident right now.
They're feeling good, taking every fight they can. However, as this Phase 4 zone starts closing in 180 yards, they're the ones that at a 0-point first game, again, topped their Group B standings back in wave number 2 of our group stages. They're looking with 2 players to try and find a space into this zone. The problem was there was a majority of these teams on the western side of the zone because it pulled towards eastern. Now we see Storm and Request watching everybody. Cursed is going to eliminate Viz, the team that had been on a rampage. They're done and dusted. 12 teams left to go.
Yeah, Viz went for that rotation, tried to go towards the dockyard, and it just did not work at all, and in doing so, caught out. Viz had anchored themselves in, and yeah, when you try to rotate that deep, you're going to give yourself away. Viz is there, prepped and ready, and this is going to be fun as the playmen. Well, you got to make some plays as players in your compound that you think is empty right now. So a breach and clear scenario has to come in play, but here's going to die. Against their competitors of Redline, one's been dropped, and Nade's going to start throwing out. And just when we were about to get some action, we flip over back to Playman.
Samarak, one of the 2 players left alive here. Playman, a single kill towards their name, but some heals and a reset ability is going to be nice. They're actually located in not too bad of an overall spot, but Redline is going to be fighting back. Storm on request, though. They just have the ultimate high ground. How do you even play against it? Slaven is going to go down to just 16 HP. Pops the first aid kit and will try and look for the res. And you see Grove Street getting involved. They're heavily active in that elimination feed, picking up kill after kill after kill. Kitchen is going to lose yet another member on that edge of the zone fight, and it's going to be Belief eliminated at 12.
Yeah, Belief, unfortunately, not able to get any place on points. Remember, top 8 will get it. But Playmen That took a lot from them. That took a lot to get them out. Kitchen inside the Storm gets eliminated, so that's not helpful for them. 11 teams to go. They're all still clustered amongst that hill, and the zone with 43 seconds left, yeah, it's moved just off the edge of where Storm Request is. And you can see Win or Die are going to be the first to get that rotation to come through. They want that early positioning. Kitchen done and dusted. And this is where the real big next gunfight is going to come through. Win or Die or Storm on Request is going to unfold. But here comes Vlad. Oh, going into Win or Die. Jumping in. Get the car going. And that's a lucky advantage. One taken away, Win or Die having to deal with Collide, and now if you're Storm on Request, you gotta take advantage, take some steals as well. A couple of dead bodies that you can take. Storm on Request, these are free opportunities without having to fight.
Took a really good forward position as well. They dropped down the mountain just a little bit. And Win or Die, they're going to be down to just one rat player. It seems like Clad, no fear, absolutely cleaning up the lobby. 180R sandwiched between two cars. Kim is going to be the last player left alive for them. 9 teams, 22 players. Cursed is at 10 kills.
A speed bump is not the way to stop a car. You're not like the Iron Man or any of these Avengers, but I tell you who are feeling like Avengers is Storm Request. They have 4 kills. They're currently in the most favorable situation at this current point, but this zone is moving further and further away from the zone. And here we go. Storm on Request once again going for more gunfights. It's 100 ADS. It's down to 1 for them, so this be able to knock another team out, and we finally get the top 8. But if you're 100 ADS, you've got to hide. EDR have to hide into the cover.
It's just that last player for 180R trying to pick up some points. They got 0 in that first game, but everybody at this point is just down to so few members. 9 teams and 21 alive. It's SOR on this high ground, continuing to pop the shots. Cursed is up to 11 kills here in this game. You can see the red line duo, but as the camera runs into the open field, Yuko takes some pop shots, and the 180R member is eliminated by Kadal.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge. 5 kills now. The thing is, Storm on Request only got 1 elimination last time. They positioned themselves 11th on the current scoreboard. So this 5 kills is massively going to jump them up. As a matter of fact, they're going to go to net 7th, but I'm not factoring in any of the other teams. And oh, wow, that zone still on the mountain. So Storm Request can take advantage of this. It looks like, as you can see, just one little Win or Die member. I think he's going to try and zone survive as long as he can, because Win or Die is just sitting there. Actually, Clyde needs to be careful here, because the Win or Die member could come in. He's getting a good heal through, but here he comes. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of deja vu, just not of a full team, but has Clyde realized this? Has he seen the opportunity? He has to heal up. He needs to get the heals coming through. He can't draw his weapon to get the free kill either. No, he's just having to survive. He's right there. Oh, this is brutal to watch. He can't do anything because the zone is so powerful. Millimeters away. Come on, man. Quick run up. Quick run. Get yourself into zone. No, he has to pop it again.
That's the final usage of the heal. Has to go for the run now. Kadal might be able to see him. Halo My Bad is down to 37, inching his way in. Glad tries to run in, but Storm on Request has their Sidewinder view. Kadal burned, broken, and taken down. But it's the Win or Die elimination from the Storm on Request duo members. The tanking position very good, and Storm on Request might have the golden road to win this game.
Win or Die didn't get that last. Clyde is still alive and he could be recovered, so all that hard work came for nothing. But Khalad in a horrible position. Noisefer just on the edge, waiting time. Probably wants to get the heal up and then be able to take the both out, but that's a dangerous route you're playing with. Here's the flash. Drop it in. Oh, it's done and dusted. There it is. Storm on Request brings themselves up to 8 kills, and now they could go for Collide. and get themselves back to full force. And it's been Storm on Request's game all the way through, as Nosfer is now also popping off a couple of hits.
Nosferatu will watch over as Kato will get revived. It's a full 4-stack here for Storm on Request. However, they have to face the powerhouses of Cursed, who are still in this lobby, the current kill leaders. Last we checked in, they were at 11, but were rampaging on that east side of this hill. But some big names left with 5 teams left to go. It's also going to be that red line crew right to the left of them. Cursed is going to try and pinch them in between the two and take these easy kills.
Cursed might get a great opportunity. That's a blue zone that's being shut down. Might be able to pop one off red line. Now in a horrible situation. Have to play this right. It's a hard hill to climb up, a lot of unknowns, and here comes Storm on Request! Oh, they just keep peeking out from height, and they have been watching too much Star Wars because they are dominating with the high ground right now.
Anakin told us how he'd go, and he did not lie. Red line down to 1 member. Storm on Request, a snipe on Yuko. Silers from the long distance, able to knock one down. 31 on their rotation. They try and get out of the car. Maclock's able to survive with half HP. Storm on Request, another knocked player going down, and it is just firefight after firefight. Nobody owns this next zone.
Yeah, the Grove Street and 31 Gaming are going to be fighting against each other, so that's going to be a third party from Storm on Request, and it always feels like we keep going back to them. There's 10! Wow, they really are coming back from 11th in this tournament, and they are putting themselves in position to try and fight for that chicken dinner, but still, Grove Street have just been quiet here. They were trying to get not broke earlier inside the water, and they were playing close to the edge of the map. This is working for them. Finally, Storm on Request getting a bit of fight back that they needed from Cursed.
They do need to clear 31 Gaming off this right side. This duo could really give them problems if they're not careful. Cursed is honestly in one of the greatest positions because they have that low ground. They can look up and eliminate Redline. Down to 4 teams left to go. It's 2 quads, a triple, and that duo from 31 Gaming. But that duo can cause so much problems, especially because Storm on Request is taking damage. They're taking shots. 31 Gaming takes one down, but will be eliminated for it.
Only 2 downs. They're not eliminated. They haven't been flushed. So Storm on Request have an opportunity to bring it back, drop up a couple of smokes. Are in a great position, but Grove Street, they've been the silent killers, 6 to their name, just in the background doing all the good work. Cursed, forefront of this firefight, 1 player eliminated, so there's still a possibility, and right now, it's gonna be between these 3, and I honestly can't tell who has it, because Storm on Request have this height once again. The knock comes through. Grove Street getting that early pick off the get-go.
It'll be interesting to see Grove Street playing again from the low ground. Both these other 2 teams in Grove Street and Cursed, they're on the low ground together. Silers, it's a 1-for-1, knock for knock, and Storm on Request hit the revive while all of that is going on. Smoke gonna be dropped, some extra screen of the visioning, but Frenchie FPS on the walk up. It's Storm on Request starting to clean things up 1-for-1. Nosferatu gonna be downed for now. Nobody has lost a member. It's been res after res, but the headshot flies in. Double down and 5 kills for Frenchie.
Frenchie happy with that. That's going to massively tie things up, and Cursed able to bring their downed player back, and the advantage goes into Cursed's favor. Storm on Request lead this. Storm on Request have the opportunity, but that aggression, that push, can he get 1? No, he's giving his position away. Tail finds 1, finds 2. Oh, that's a brilliant opening. Storm on Request went aggressive, and it cost them dearly.
Silers here, Nosferatu and the teammate of Kato are gonna have to battle together. Finishes the 1, an easy, nice extra kill, 14 in total, but they're out of members, they're out of health, and only at the low ground play, but Storm on Request, they lose members as well. Grove Street was able to hit the reset. 3 players strong, still the res ability of G2, trying to get those 2 players back strong, and the reset will get there for Storm on Request.
Patience. is all that is needed. If you are Storm on request, you can't aggress too far. That means going to be some damage. But here comes Cursed from the sidelines. Storm on request eliminated. Now it's down to one member of Cursed. Quickly able to get the revive back in. And Grove Street, we've said how quiet they've been. We've said how they've been slowly creeping their way up. And now they've got to find Cursed at the right place at the right time. Vazo. Think he got sightlines. He might know. But it's by the right time. Foey's 9 in the zone. Wolf reach. Creep in. There's one for Grove. One more to go for Cursed. But the comeback is going to help. And Frenchie left alive in a 1v2.
Resible teammate decides to not go for it. Just got to play your life at this moment. 81 HP, slowly healing up, has the Lynx trying to put them in their crosshairs, and Grove Street finally try and get one, the 1-for-1, but it's gonna be winner, winner, chicken dinner for Grove Street, the bounce back great performance.